Hi, this is Michael Rubin, and we have been talking about modes, and we explained how to create a numbers pattern so that we could find any mode in any key by taking the major scale and plugging it into the numbers pattern. So we did it for the Dorian scale, but let's do it for the Mixolydian scale. And then we're going to start looking at the Mixolydian scale in first, second, and third position. I would say that almost every professional harmonica player has some skill playing in first, second, and third position. Now, it is possible to take this numbers pattern that we're going to learn and learn how to play Mixolydian in any key on any harmonica. All 12 positions, it's possible to play Mixolydian in them. And if you want to play the harmonica fully chromatically, such as like a guy named Howard Levy, it is fully possible. However, I'm sticking with the stuff that most harmonica players are working with, which is first, second, and third position. So, let's look at the Mixolydian scale. In the C major scale, the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, all of the white notes on the keyboard. A Mixolydian mode is based on the fifth note of whatever major scale you're comparing it to. So in the key of C, the fifth note is C, D, E, F, G. So if we started on the note G and got the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of the white notes on the keyboard beginning and ending on G, that's a mode of C major. And it creates a bluesy feeling in the key of G. So in order to make this Mixolydian mode work, you have to tell the band, play in the key of G. Now let's say you didn't want to play in the key of G. Well, it is possible to play the Mixolydian scale in any key. And one long, convoluted way to do it would be to find a major scale, find the fifth note, and play the notes from that major scale starting on that note. But I think it is much easier to create a numbers pattern that you could plug a major scale into and change the major scale into the Mixolydian scale. So we're going to find that numbers pattern. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to take the G Mixolydian scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and compare it to the G major scale. The notes in the G major scale are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And if you don't know how I did that, you need to review some of my older videos. There's a pile on finding major scales. So, in the G major scale, there is one black key, F sharp. In other words, there is no F in the key of G major. In the G Mixolydian scale, it is identical to the G major scale, except that there is no F sharp, there is an F. Let's say we were to try and turn the G major scale and change it into the G Mixolydian scale. What we would have to do would be to take the F sharp and turn it into the F. How do you do that? You lower F sharp by one half step, one keyboard note. So F sharp lowers one keyboard note and becomes F. What is the word for one note lower than? Flat. I'm going to use the term flat as a verb. In order to turn the G major scale into the G Mixolydian scale, you flat the F sharp into an F. In the key of G major, G is the first note and A is the second note. What number is F sharp? G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Seventh note. F sharp is the seventh note. Therefore, to take any major scale and turn it into a Mixolydian scale in the same key, you would flat the seventh note. So you could write out the numbers pattern or the mathematical function for a Mixolydian scale as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 8. So if you wanted to take the C major scale and play blues in the key of C, a bluesy scale is the C Mixolydian scale. You take the C major scale, find the seventh note, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, flat it, B flat, and suddenly you have the C Mixolydian scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. Now, how much bluesier can it be? It's just one note's difference. Here's a C harmonica. I'm going to play some cross harp in the key of G on a C harmonica. I'm going to start by using the G major scale with an F sharp in it. Now, I will flat the 7th and turn the F sharp into an F. One note's difference. One note made it that much bluesier. So this flat 7 is a very powerful note. And that's the main thing I want you to take away from all this talk about Mixolydian, is that the flat 7th is a bluesy note. So what I want to do now is talk about the C Mixolydian scale on a C harmonica. Now when we write this out in tablature, the notes that we use are going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and we're going to find them on a C harp. But what we're going to wind up with is a tablature that will tell us the first position Mixolydian scale for any harmonica. So if you have a G harmonica, first position is G, the key of G. If you play the tablature that we're going to write down, you will be playing the notes in the G Mixolydian scale. So whatever harmonica you have, the tablature that we're going to discover now will be the tab for the first position Mixolydian scale. In other words, the Mixolydian scale for the key that has the same name as the harp. So normally I used to write down, like I used to say, okay, where's C? One blow. Where's D? One drawn. We would go through the whole thing. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, we did that for a while to give you an understanding of how to find notes on the harp. However, you may want to pause. Stop the video. Don't look at a layout of the harmonica. Use your brain and figure out for all 3 octaves where are the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. If you were taking private lessons from me, I would sit and wait while you figured out where the C Mixolydian scale was. And if you had a question, I would help you. It is my belief that the process of figuring out where the scales are will help you deepen your understanding of the layout of the diatonic harmonica. And it is my belief that one of the most important things that you can do as a harmonica player is have a deep understanding of the layout of the instrument that you're playing. And personally, after 27 years, I continue to deepen my understanding of the layout. I see new things all the time, and I just think it's incredibly important to know your instrument. So, here are the notes in C Mixolydian, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and here's where it is on the C harmonica. Now I want you to notice that in the first octave, all of the notes are there. There are no overblows. There are 3 bends. 2 double is F, 3 double is A, and 3 single is B flat. That is a challenge to play. 3 double to 3 single is challenging. Then, the next octave. Oh, by the way, since you have all those notes without overblows and the Mixolydian scale creates a bluesy flavor, it is quite easy to play blues in the key of C major on a C harmonica or in first position on any harmonica in the first octave from 1 to 4 blow. Have you ever heard Hoochie Coochie Man? that is what most harmonica players are doing during Hoochie Coochie Man. It is one of the main personalities of the harmonica, and we'll talk about the personalities of the harmonica later. But yeah, first position, first octave, crucial. Let me do a little for you. I'd rather do this on a lower pitched harp. Let's see if I can find one. Now in the middle octave, all the notes are there if you know how to overblow. But if you do not know how to overblow, 6 overblow, the B flat, is missing. Well, the B flat note is the most crucial note in the Mixolydian scale. It's the note that changes the major scale into the Mixolydian scale. It's the flat 7th. Without it, it's not a bluesy scale. It's just a major scale. Therefore, if you do not know how to overblow, playing blues in the middle octave of the harmonica is difficult. As a matter of fact, one of the things I continue to search for is solos where people play first position in blues without overblows, using the middle octave and getting an authentic bluesy feeling, something that sounds traditional and something that sounds like blues. It seems to me most people cannot do it, and it often winds up sounding, if they do it, it sounds kind of innovative and sometimes, not what I want to listen to. Now, I'm not the biggest traditionalist in the world. As a matter of fact, I think I'm pretty much into innovation, but in this case, I rarely ever find anybody doing something good in the middle octave. And once you start overblowing, you can do some great stuff. However, overblows didn't come into vogue until 1985. Therefore, none of the guys from the 50s and 60s were overblowing until you get to like Will Scarlett in the late 60s. And so basically, and Mike Turk as well. So basically, it just doesn't sound traditional to use overblows. Now, it's up to you how much you care about tradition, So, the third octave is all there. But you have to have your high note blow bends together to get that 10 double bend blow note. And on a C harp, 10 double bend is pretty hard. You may consider learning this scale on a G harp, making all of the notes lower in pitch, therefore making the high notes lower in pitch and easier to manipulate. This high notes from 7 through 10 blow is the beginning of another personality of music, first position high notes, similar to the music of Jimmy Reed. So if you want to play like Jimmy Reed, this scale is very valuable. Jimmy Reed is not playing cross harp when he plays the high notes. He does play cross harp in the low end of the harmonica, but when he plays the high notes, he plays first position. And this is the beginning of understanding the Jimmy Reed first position style. Okay, next time we'll play it and do some jamming with it. Heck, I'll play it now. And next time we'll talk about how to jam with this. All right, see you soon.